Hi, you're watching Conway's Digital Experience Snapshots. My name is Aurelia, and we also have Dan, our digital experience consultant. And in this series, we are analyzing the best D2C brands worldwide. In this episode, we will look into AG1. AG1 is a greens powder dietary supplement containing a comprehensive blend of vitamins, probiotics, antioxidants in a single convenient scoop per day. The main aim of AG1 is to replace multiple supplements and simplify your health regimen. Dan, you were actually undergoing the digital experience at AG1, analyzing it as a mystery shopper. How was the product experience for you? What was the taste and how did you like AG1 basically?
Well, I've been using it for a week and I think I already feel something, at least working with my health here. The taste is peculiar. It is containing spirulina, which I think everything that contains spirulina tastes like spirulina, but then with sort of notes and hints of some sweetness. Website says vanilla and pineapple. Maybe I can taste those, but it's still very spirulina heavy.
And the actual effectiveness? Did you feel better after taking it a few days?
So I have to say, I find myself craving a lot less in the evenings. Also, I read about that, so I don't know if there's a placebo working there, but I think I feel better. We have to see it after 1 month or even after 3 months, if my wallet allows that.
And also, what kind of analysis did you do for AG1? So what was done there besides the mystery shopper?
We analyze 3 key areas. We do the digital strategy performance, so we look at the 3C flywheel and see how a brand effectively leverages commerce, content, and community to drive growth. We look at conversion tactics, and then as a third, we act as a very critical customer and we undergo the experience ourselves. We buy a product, we test it, we reach out to support for some questions. So this is what we've done with AG1 as well.
If you look at their strategy and how they are performing, what do you think is their secret sauce and what makes them stand out?
Well, AG1 exists for a very long time, more than 10 years already. They did a sort of a rebrand not that long ago, moving from Athletic Greens, was the brand called, to AG1, which broadens the target audience. And they are doing something really good. Different brands with different sort of similar products are copying AG1 all over the place. So there's this seed, the experience looks the same. It's almost like AG1 created this scientifically proven new product norm, and a lot of brands are copying AG1 if it comes to the storytelling, but also when it comes to the visual identity, which is sort of a darkish greenish nature tones, very high quality experience.
Probably also the value proposition, right? Because they are offering this all-in-one simplified solution. Other brands are also claiming a very similar thing, saying that, oh, this is the only thing you need to take and you will be all set.
Yeah, it's super interesting to see how everyone is working with health these days, and we know taking vitamins or supplements could potentially help you. So they jumped into this solution of providing everything you need in one convenient scoop instead of a whole box of pills.
So looking at the AG1 3C flywheel, which contains content, community, and commerce, we can start with the commerce part. What was your main impression of the buying journey at AG1? What were the things that popped out for you mostly?
AG1 is a direct-to-consumer online-only brand. The only way to obtain AG1 is through their website. The digital experience online, it's very smooth. It's a very shallow, in a good way, conversion path. They only sell actually one product sold in different package options. And the moment you start your conversion path, it is super straightforward. You get some sort of a semi-personalized feel of the product, with only a few options and only a few clicks, and you've subscribed. So that's very straightforward and super easy.
So you also looked into their content strategy. What was standing out for you there?
What I find very interesting is that in a lot of ads, they tell you learn more in their CTA, which sort of implies that there is more to understand or to learn, not necessarily to buy. So when you jump onto the AG1 platform or you see AG1 in the wild, It's this educational vibe about learning how to work with your physique, learning how to work with your health, mental health, physical health. They have Andrew Huberman as a sort of spokesperson. His podcast is sponsored by AG1. He's been using AG1 himself for a very long time, 10 plus years, so almost as long as it exists. On the website they have Dr. Ralph, who is he's a physician, and he makes educational content on what it actually means to work with your mental health and how to optimize that. If you jump into his details, he is a certified physician who is specialized in the optimization of health span and lifespan through nutrition and exercise. Also, Andrew Huberman describes this foundational nutrition statement, and this is something AG1 communicates strongly.
It seems like they are really focusing on people looking at improving their performance, because there's a lot of scientifically backed content that really shows that there is some effect of taking this supplement, and they did like numerous tests. But also it seems that they're trying to educate the audience and choose the influencers for that, like Huberman, who can explain in a detailed way what effect does the AG1 have. It feels that there is like a very specified target audience, but do you think they are actually building a community, an engaged community from this target audience? Or is it more like, like podcasts and just educating people, but not really bringing them together in some kind of a space or, getting their input?
I haven't seen them bringing together people in a space or organizing certain events. When it comes to marketing, it's really broadcasting. And it's really high quality, famous people. And so Andrew Huberman, for instance, Lewis Hamilton, the famous Formula One driver, the podcast of Joe Rogan, the big flag of AG1 is visible there. The same goes for the runner Edison Felix. So they're using this elite group as an aspirational community, you could say. They don't call their customers. They say welcome to the community. The community is led by these big spokespeople, so it makes you stand out. It's also premium. This aspirational aspect, almost like a Nike or a different sports brand, is pretty much the same, on the same level. But the community goes as far as you buying the product.
So it's not that they are betting on those long-term goals. Like other brands, they are sometimes even creating spaces, physical or digital, for people to meet and connect and talk about something beyond their health, maybe also the lifestyle, mindfulness, etc. So even I can come up with many ideas how AG1 can expand, but it's interesting, why are they not really into actually building this? It's more like this illusion of community with those public figures, but not like a real investment into an actual community.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, maybe that's also due to us being Europeans. I'm not sure what happens if Andrew Huberman speaks at a public event. If then AG1, for instance, is served there, wouldn't do it for the taste, but maybe for for the presence. Interesting.
I actually do have one speculation, because I was working on a brand radar, and as we discussed, they have really close competitors like Seed, and both AG1 and Seed are valued really well. So AG1 is like above 1 billion and Seed is close to 1 billion. But it seems like everywhere you go online, if you look for their competitor keywords, you would get AG1's ads. So they are super aggressive in paid ads, and probably the competition within the smaller industry of like those all-in-one green supplements is really, really rough. And maybe AG1 is trying to invest all into keeping their position as the leader, but that actually keeps the focus away from this longer term commitment on building a community.
And I think the competition when it comes to those all greens in one becomes bigger and bigger, because you see different brands and different, even house brands of certain chains creating these all-in-one solutions. So they have something to do to stay at the top. It's difficult to get to the top, but it's more difficult to actually maintain that position.
And they are the OG, I have to say. When I looked at the founding years of those competitor brands, all of them were founded at least 5 or even 10 years later. AG1 was founded in 2010, so they kind of invented this space, but it's now so lucrative that competitors are also coming in. But yeah, enough about that. So let's talk about the core shopping flow. You also analyzed the buying journey, and there's also a recording of you actually buying for the first time from AG1. So the link to that will be in the comment section. But if you had to give key highlights from this experience, what would it be, both the positive and the negative ones?
So I think I have 4 really good things that stood out for me looking at this digital experience. One is the look and feel. It's great. It's modern. The aesthetics are really premium. Also, the imagery is premium. You see videos. They do a great mix of people using the product and the aspirational part, the typography, the earthy color scheme. It feels premium all over. So that's really done well. Then there's lots of information. It's super scientifically proven. Everything breathes science. There's a lot of social proof. There's lots of numbers, and it's all big numbers and big statements showing you how good the product actually is, and also managing expectations. Then another one is the very simplified checkout. It feels a bit personalized. They utilize this focused checkout, which you can, for instance, see also at Amazon, but then beautifully done, a survey-like flow, and then in a few steps you've selected the perfect product for you, which isn't that difficult because they only have 2 packages of their product. It's either a subscription in a pot or it's a subscription in a little pouch, which you can take on traveling.
It's interesting that you don't need to do any kind of product search. You are on the homepage, you directly go to the checkout, and during the checkout you learn about the product options.
When you say I want to buy, you scroll down to the page because it's a pretty much a one-pager. There's no PDP, there's no overview page of the product. You just select which one you have, and then you need to do that secondly in the checkout, and then you're in. So that's super fast, super smooth buying experience. And then as the last thing I have to say, the support, because we reached out, it's super quick. Everything happened within the hour. Even when I entered an email the same evening, I got reply. That is actually the type of support we would like to see with many other brands. Then I found some things that were at least messy. Our name comes from Conway's Law, which means you can see on the outside how things are organized on the inside. On the website you have this buy a subscription now and get a free vitamin package, which I subscribed to. I had to subscribe to the newsletter to get this vitamin package, and then I didn't get it with my first purchase. I reached out to customer support and they said I should have clicked a different link from the campaign than I actually did on the website, which is a bit weird because that's a problem they have on the backside and that's not necessarily for me as a customer. So the experience of receiving the package was good, and then I was, hey, wait a second, I thought I ordered also vitamins and I needed to contact customer support. That was a bit messy. So the post-purchase experience is a bit messy. And it became even more messy because that contact moment with customer support, I asked why do I need vitamins, because I thought AG1 was a one-stop shop product. I got a huge story. They offered me a vitamin package, but they also offered me another product, which was a omega-3 supplement. And I was a bit confused because I thought AG1 only had one product, but they actually have more products. And when I asked the sales rep for more information, he sent me email a copy of the packaging. Later I found out that there's a whole new members only sort of shop in the account section, but this guy from the support, he didn't tell me. And I found this sort of by accident that I could just order it there. So it was messy. It's sort of almost because they want to be so simple in the front, but they do want to extend their product portfolio and they don't know really how to do it without eating a bit out of that simplicity they have in the front, and that becomes messy. So this is also a messy story. It's complex because I got super confused and it was all entangled. And it wasn't as smooth and straightforward as it was in the unlogged in part.
And it's really interesting because when you are considering becoming an AG1 customer, you think you get everything you need. And then once you join, it feels like, oh, there's a whole bunch of additional supplements, omega or whatever, vitamin D. So they couldn't have the same claim if they were selling for the first time customers, because their initial value proposition would be reduced. Like it wouldn't be as effective as it is now. It's really an interesting case for them. at the moment.
And I had to hold back the customer support rep a little bit because he almost put 20 euros worth of more supplements into my next subscription because I already subscribed, and I really had to say no, so I felt almost hustled versus the freedom you have when you buy something D2C. And as a last minor detail, I wanted to have a invoice. I didn't get it with my purchase, so I reached out to customer support, and they told me they didn't have their invoicing system in place yet. And I was surprised because this company already exists for 10 plus years, and an invoice, at least here in Europe, is quite normal. They instantly made one for me and they sent it over by email, but it was sort of, I had to contact them. I even had to look at the FAQ if I could find the word invoice, and I couldn't. So it sort of forced me into getting in contact with them, which is, I think, also pretty expensive if it comes to their handling times and support times. So that's basically the things that stood out.
Yeah, sounds a bit like business in the front, party in the back. The front stage, the pre-purchase journey, like this product discovery, educational content, everything sounds and looks so neat and nice, but once you actually become a member of their community, and if you have some special requests or some questions, it can be quite difficult, and also it feels like for them to handle this, it's not as effective as it could be.
Yeah, if you look at customer experience, they have a really, really beautifully well thought out buying experience. But when it comes to a total customer experience, I think there's some stuff to be won.
It would be interesting to be a member or be a customer of AG1 for longer to really understand how much focus they have on retaining the customer. Because if that's the case, like the post-purchase journey and retention is a bit messy, it feels like the company is really focusing on customer acquisition and just growing in terms of the number of customers acquired, but not necessarily in keeping them for longer.
Totally agree. Also, because they say you feel better after 1 month, I wonder how the retargeting or experience is after 3 months. I'm not sure if I'm gonna hang in for 3 months though.
Yeah, so curious to see if you will, for example, try to cancel the subscription. How will they handle that? Will there be some incentives for you offered, or something for you to reconsider?
We'll know in a couple months.
So that was really interesting, Dan. Thank you. And just a reminder that all the content that you produced, so the Miro board with extensive core shopping flow and 3C flywheel analysis, it will be linked in the comment. And yeah, until the next time.
Until next time. Bye.